for each of you, and the first one will go to you, Katie. The day after Officer Natalie Corona's death, you responded to those who had posted online about her death and asked them to, quote, find a different photo than the one of Officer Corona waving a Blue Lives Matter flag because, in your view, that symbol was created with an inexcusably racist intent. Yep. Many residents of District 4 have asked to know your stance on law enforcement and what you meant by that post.
I'm really glad you asked that question. It's been a pretty popular post. I could have pulled that post down before I ran for office, and I didn't. I kept it up because I believe in being honest with people about how I feel about the issues, even if they disagree. For me, Blue Lives Matter is a divisive tool. It's something that makes my brown and black friends feel really nervous. Because it makes
they're here. They're here.
Their lives don't matter as much. And the reason I posted what I posted, I called Officer Corona's death a tragedy, and I meant it. I was trying to start a conversation that if we really want all lives to matter, we need to start having a conversation on whether or not we believe that her death was just as tragic as Stephon Clark's or Joseph Mann. I don't believe that discounts her sacrifice or the tragedy of her death at all. It's a conversation that we need to have as a community when so many people in our community feel so uneasy around law enforcement and feel so uneasy around these symbols. We can't have that conversation when we're having those symbols in the conversation, and that's what that post was meant to inspire. And it did start a great conversation with my friend who's a Davis council member who didn't even think about the fact that he was using a shield photo with a blue line instead of a black line, which is protocol. And I talked to him about that, and he changed his profile picture. We can't only get there when we talk with each other, and that's something that I'm not anti-police. I've worked successfully with police. I don't think our current situation is working out well for either side of this issue right now. I think accountability is the foundation of a good relationship, and that we still have a long way to go till that's a reality in Sacramento.
It was on a stage like this in June of 2018 where the mayor couldn't be, but as vice mayor, I had to preside over a graduation for a police academy. I didn't know it at the time, but when I shook a hand of a young woman named Natalie Corona, she would shortly thereafter be killed in a tragic murder where she was helping motorists who had broken down. It's hard for me as somebody who a lot of times answers your calls, your distress, you need help, and I ask people to go out to help you, to say that we can't separate those issues to honor Tara or Natalie, Tara O'Sullivan, who were killed in cold blood. It is okay to separate these issues for a minute. The city has done a lot to move forward through, and I think we've learned a lot. I personally have learned a lot and grown after what happened to Joseph Mann and Stephon Clark. We have deployed tremendous resources on training, on education, on ensuring that our officers are carrying out their duties to the best of their ability. But when Natalie was killed, everybody grieved. When Tara was killed, we grieved. And I don't think it's right to mix those two things in this particular situation. Yes, you don't like the picture, but that was her picture. And I may not want that if I were her, but that was her choice and her family's choice. And I, as much as some people post things that I don't like, I try not to get engaged in that, but we have to honor both sides and we have to work together to build those bridges.
I don't disagree with the need to grieve. I grieved over Tara Sullivan's death as a survivor of domestic violence myself. That hit real home to realize how close all of us are in those situations to being fatally injured. But I just think that we should also be grieving the lives of people who were lost, who were standing in their grandmother's backyard. Or
yeah.
And I don't think that saying that diminishes my grief for the people who were killed in the line of duty. I think I value those lives the same, and I don't think that's wrong. And I think that we need to have that conversation because we still have a police commission who's supposed to oversee a police department who reports to the police department. That's not oversight. We have so many things we could be doing that could improve the public's confidence in the process that happens when these incidences occur, and that would give the police certainty as well as the community that there would be fair adjudication beyond criminal charges. It's such a small piece of it. When we talk about rebuilding trust, when we talk about what we need to do to help communities feel like these officers are a part of their community and they shouldn't be scared of them, there's a lot of work that we have to do that we could be doing in the city of Sacramento.
Inside Sacramento published several stories relating to your involvement with the fencing and gating of a public access point to the Sacramento River levee in the Little Pocket area. The articles raised questions about whether a survey was conducted to assure that portions of the fence were not built on privately owned land, and whether appropriate public outreach had been conducted. Will you set the record straight regarding this issue? How do you plan to address the access issues that have come to light since the gate was put up by the city?
Can I have more than the 1 minute?
You got 1:30.
So first, I've voted for every plan that calls for the completion of the Sacramento River Trail. I've supported my colleague Rick Jennings in the work in closing gaps in the pocket and helping get funding for those. When we found out that homeless camps were forming on a piece of property that wasn't technically public access, hadn't been approved for ADA, there was still a gate there, but a fire was starting next to a woman's house, and we were told by the city attorney's office, and then recommendations from the police department and the parks department, that a gate should be there. That's what happened, because that is what the city staff recommended. Now, that raised all these other questions, and what I want to say is that it was only recently, because of these articles, that this trail was prioritized over some of the dangerous intersections. And I've heard from many of you, and I've responded to many of you about why that happened. But if that is something that our constituents want me to tackle, I will work with the homeowners there who own the property to the water line to see how we can come together to fix this. This is something that we don't even have the money to complete the pocket portion of the trail. We have proceeded on eminent domain, but right now, because of the Army Corps project, we may need to redo those proceedings. Just last night, I voted, I made the motion for the Two Rivers Trail through East Sac and River Park because my colleague Jeff got recused. I am in favor of trails. I am a cyclist. It is for everyone, but we don't own that land in question, but we can find ways to solve this problem.
I agree. I support opening up the trail. I have heard, I've met with homeowners who live near that trail who are concerned about public maintenance and oversight, and I think these are problems that we can solve. This should be a regional asset. I've walked up there. I've seen how beautiful this trail is. We deserve to have a completed off-road trail in that space, and the process by which this has been managed has been so frustrating to watch. Because all it took was a little bit more transparency, right? Like bringing people to the table, talking about what's going on, figuring out how to tackle where are the barriers, working with friends at Sacramento River Parkway so that we can tackle this and make a plan that makes everybody feel comfortable with how we're going to move forward. And that's something that I fully support doing when I'm elected, because I think it's a gorgeous trail and it's a travesty that it's not accessible to the public, because my cousin lives in the pocket. He would love to be able to bike into work downtown off the road. I mean, these are all great things that we could have access to if we could just solve these problems together.
Could I add? We, as a neighborhood in Land Park, worked to get funding with the Southland Park Neighborhood Association for the Del Rio Trail, which was a publicly owned piece of land that RT had. We've got that funding now. But just last week, I made a post on social media about the Del Rio Trail. Many of the people who saw that post were concerned that the American River Parkway situation would come to their backyards. And I think that there still is a lot of doubt about the city's ability to manage and maintain. Now that's unique because I think we can create a nonprofit for Adopt a Trail to help maintain and keep with our businesses and neighbors the Del Rio Trail nice. It's narrow. The issues with the Sacramento River Trail in Little Pocket, it's going to take probably $15 to $20 million. We'll have to go through eminent domain of about 40 properties to achieve the property rights to do it. And we have all these other priorities. So it's great for people to tell me what they want. And what I try to do is figure out how to do it. The LPCA supported the Del Rio Trail, now may not support the Del Rio Trail. We want medians on Land Park Boulevard. We want Sutterville fixed. We want Riverside fixed. So what is going to be the priority?
Okay, one last
Just
comment here.
yeah, I was just going to say that price tag sounds really familiar to the money we're giving to the riverfront reimagining, and so maybe as one of those opportunities for us to think about priorities for the community and how to rank them together.
They're here.
This is the epitome of saying something that is not based in fact. The hotel tax that's being used for the riverfront has to be put into buildings. We are limited by voter initiative, which created the tax that has to be used to create convention halls and structures. So if it doesn't have a hotel nexus, if it doesn't have a nexus that meets that test, we can't spend it. So we can't take the waterfront money from Old Sac and just plop it down far away. We can't do that. That's against the law. So it's easy to say, but if it's not legal, we cannot do it.
That's the moment to respond.
Yeah, I just think, it's a regional attraction that would attract tourists from other parts of the region and of the state. And so I think there's a lot of ways we could draw that connection, but I use that as an example just because in a $1.2 billion budget, I'm still having trouble tracking down a good portion of where some of these special project fundings go.
Yeah.
And so I really think that there's just an opportunity with budget transparency for us to try to identify opportunities for match funding and grants that are out there and all of the amazing programs that would love to support an innovative project.
Okay, you know what, this is going to end the question and answer portion now of this forum, but we do have time now for your final statements and 2 minutes allotted to each of you. We'll begin with Katie.
So I want to close tonight by just encouraging you to think about 8 months versus 8 years. Because Steve has said a lot of really well-sounding things tonight, and he's done a lot in the last few months. But really, he's done a lot since I declared that I was going to run against him. I don't think that that's leadership. I think that it shouldn't take someone running against you to get you to do the right thing. And honestly, I just encourage you to remember, and all the things you've heard in the last few months, and all that I'm sure you'll hear in the next 27 days, that 8 years of inaction have led us to this moment tonight. But I'm not just asking you to vote for me because I don't think Steve's done a great job. I'm asking you to vote for me because I am highly qualified for this position. I am honest, sometimes to a fault. I may have said things tonight or in the past that you don't like. It would be easy for me to tell you what I know you want me to say. I know what you want me to say, but I'm honest because integrity matters to me, even if it means that we might disagree. And I guarantee you that if you elect me in office, you are going to get so sick of seeing me at your community meetings because I believe that we need to work together to solve these problems. And so if you are ready to do something different in the city of Sacramento, then you need to do something different by voting differently. And elect somebody who's ready to work with you to tackle these issues. And I'm not guaranteeing I'm a silver bullet, but I'm someone new. I've got different ideas. I've got a different way of doing things. And I really do believe that while our district is 3 very distinct and different neighborhoods, we all want to feel heard, and we all want communities that we're proud of. And if we keep that on our horizon, we are going to be able to do amazing things. Thank you.
As a kid, I never thought I would have the privilege of going to college, let alone having a great job like this, because my parents divorced when I was 3. My brother, who had autism, went to live in a group home when I was 7. I didn't have a future, I thought. I've worked really hard, not just on this council, but in life, to get where I am, and I work hard every day. I go from meeting to meeting all day long while trying to respond to emails, phone calls, doing everything I can on 15 boards and commissions that I'm assigned to. It's easy to say you're going to be everywhere to everyone, but now that I also have a family, that's a really difficult thing to promise, right? But in the end, every day I give you my best. I am not perfect. I can't always respond to every email right away. I can't always fix the problem the way you want it, but I give you my heart, I give you my passion, and I give you my hard work. And it shows. The record of my accomplishments: opening Washington Elementary with the school district as a STEAM program, the Powerhouse Science Center, putting in stop signs in areas where people couldn't get help for 20 years. Martha Damjanovic wanted a half-street closure at 16th and F. And guess what? She and I helped get that done in my first year in office. There are people throughout this room that we've helped on a daily basis. Hard problems and not so hard problems. Opportunities that are big and small. And it is a hard job when you have 100,000 people that come into work. You have the visitors, you have the challenges of crime and homelessness. But guess what? This job is not only a great job, but this is a hard job. And I want you to help us continue this work. Because guess what? I've built not only the relationships with my colleagues, but also because I believe our work is not done together. We have so much to accomplish to help Sacramento reach its best days. And I hope that you support me. I hope you vote for me. And if you don't, I still want to work with you. Because guess what? That's what makes this city great. Lady Bird Johnson said, "The clash of ideas is the sound of freedom." And that, my friends, is Sacramento.